So, in today's episode of the Work and Travel series, we're talking about how to open a US bank account. So, in today's video, I'll be sharing my experience as well as um, just how you should go about getting a US bank account when you go on work and travel. So if you're interested, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. You can also go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Toni_Ashlaay. You can also go and subscribe to Breeze Adventure. Alright, so where do I start? Okay, let me share my experience first. So last year, what month? It was in June, yes. So I went in May and I got a bank account in June. The reason for this is because me speaking on a previous video, I made say that the employer, I don't know if it's true or if it was misinformation, yes or no, but basically we needed to be present in the US for 10 days before we can go get with social security number. And the reason why I bring up social security is because you actually need it to open a bank account. So we had to be in the US for at least 10 days in order to go to the social security office to get a social security. And so we were able to start working. We never have no social security, so the last 2 weeks of May, we were working without a social security until we went to the office in a neighboring town and we got the paperwork done. Basically, there's the passport, the visa, and we have this letter that we get from our sponsor. You go at the window and all that stuff. So basically, that was what happened. So with my experience now, we soon get to the bank account. But in my experience now, as I said before, when you did 10 days, we went to the office and blah blah blah. Now, I want to open a US bank account. So, in my situation now, there was a bank, People's Bank. This bank was near, I'm going to say near to where I work. It did near, as in my workplace, the yes, so, well, my first job there, right, yes, so, and the bank there right here, so every single day I walk past People's Bank in order to go to my work. It really good, so my job anyway. I had to walk past there, so now me in the store already. I ask people them when them come in, because you know, as a cashier, you have to have casual conversations. You have to talk with them and you know all them stuff there. So for the most part, most of them are friendly, so that was good. But basically, I asked them which is the best bank, which bank is the best bank, and everybody say this bank is good, this bank is good, this bank is good. My manager said Fee Bank is good, which my manager he supported us using People's Bank because him said that bank him used to. But anyways, moving on from that. So everybody said their bank is the best bank. So me I said, I need a bank that is universal, right? So basically me I go back into my thinking process of when me that think about all of this stuff. Basically that so basically me just had to share what I was thinking at the time because this was literally my thought process at the time. Everybody said that their bank is a good bank, but me just want a good bank. Me know say bank keep money, but that's not the only reason why I want a bank account. Because for me, the state that I was in the state of Wisconsin, but even more so than that, I was in a very small town, a town with a population of less than 2,000 people. And as such, I needed a bank that I would be able to use all over the US. Not saying that the banks can't, your card can use in another state. I'm not saying that. But with certain banks, you will realize they are a bit more problematic when you leave the state. If you get what I'm saying. And so me never just want any bank account because something that I've personally seen and experienced at the store, working at the store, people come from Illinois and them come from all about different states and them come to Wisconsin, them come to the town that I was working in. And these are white people, Americans. And when they get there, their cards not go through. The bank put a hope on them cards because they might use them cards outside of their state. You get what I'm saying? And me see people have to go up on the phone, call the bank and one whole heap of run around stuff. Like that's crazy. So when me at the store every day say that I say me need a bank account that I can use that card in other states, right? So the preferred one would have been Bank of America, but no Bank of America was nearby. So that is why I went with the option that I went with. So People's Bank, yeah. So that's it. This is how you should be thinking when you get there. When you need to open a bank account, this is how you should be thinking. Don't just open a bank account just to say you have an America bank account and that is it. Think about whether or not that bank has branches in other states. The more states that it has branches in, the better for you. The bigger the bank is, the better it is for you. Because especially with work and travel, most students do not return to the same place. For example, this year them in up in South Carolina, next year them in a Wisconsin, like, or them in a Michigan. Like you don't want every single year you have to open a new bank account because that the bank that they owe you a King Philip and there's no branch near you. You don't want that. Right? So anyway, I went with the option that I went with and signed up with them and everything. So let me tell you what happened though. So anyway, after seeing all that, I realized that I have a decision to make. So this was before I got my social security because honestly, like the first maybe week or so, we did just the day of work and I said, no man, we need we need to get things done, right? So military day I say we need to get things done with us there. We not no social security, we not a bank account like I saw me a customer brother and me a customer me I say with us there. Because I was looking company, we didn't want a company if we go open the bank account, but nobody else was with it. So one day, me and my brother did it and he never want to come inside, but I was going to open my bank account with people's bank because they were nearby and I never have no time. So anyways, I leave my brother outside. I go in there and the lady looked so happy to see me for some reason. But me I tell them, they're nice people, right? Anyway, because remember it's a predominantly based on what someone told me though, based on what somebody tell me say is that black people don't usually go certain places in America, especially a place like that. So it's always good or basically you're seen. People can't miss you. Anyways, I went in, me give her, me tell her some open a bank account, me tell her, say, I tricks me at work, and me give her the passport. Um, she take the passport, and she go to one man, I don't know, she go to somebody to go talk to them, or whatever. And she came back to me and said that me should get a social security, and then come back. At the time now, I think it reached, I don't know what time, but basically I've never have the social security yet. But me tell her, say, it's requested, and me I wait for it to be delivered. It took them about maybe a week. I don't know. I don't know the time period, but they mailed the social security to us basically. Anyways, and then I ended up not going back to People's Bank because I saw a better option. So there were 4 banks where I was at. There was Nicolette Bank. This one, literally when I was there, they were renovating Nicolette. Like, I mean, if it's brand new or they are renovated, but yeah. And you had People's Bank, and you have Associate Bank, and then you had BMO Harris, which is now called BMO Bank. So anyways, I decided, okay, which one has the most branches in other states? People recommend everybody's a them bank are the best, and so me here so well, and BMO has more branches in, and literally the day when I go to open the bank account, the guy that was in there, the accountant, or I don't know whatever them call him, whatever, I think accountant, whatever. Anyways, he was the manager. Like, that's one thing. Things are very different over there. You know, in Jamaica, the manager basically everybody is a manager over there. So, you know, in Jamaica, we would just say supervisor, they say manager. So we say supervisor, they say manager. It's weird sometimes because you can have a business and you have so many managers in the business, and but you have the one big top manager. But regardless, either way, yeah, so I heard about the BMO bank. So I said, okay, I'm gonna work with BMO because I have more branches and blah blah blah. And the people are more super nice and all that stuff. So yeah, so in the get go, what happened was that my first job they were giving me a pay, what me I get? I had a pay card. It basically worked like a debit card, but you can't tap with it. But it was basically a debit card, but not with a bank. It was owned by the company. My second job, McDonald's gave me checks. So when I get my check, then I save them up, and then me just go into the bank and change my check them and stuff once I get the bank account. But basically, the two necessities in order to open a bank account is a passport and your social security number to actually prove that you are working. And what happened was the guy asked me for my tax number from my home country, right? So all your details, your home address and all that stuff, but he asked me for the tax number. So basically my TRN from Jamaica and did take as well. But I would think some did have it. Anyways, but that's just basically the sum of the story for the most part. But that's how you do it. Pick a bank that has more branches, pick a bank that is good, pick a bank that, God forbid, you go out of state and your card decline or them lock down your card because some activity. Which that is one thing we make sure say we mention to the guy when we open your account, say we need the card for work because it's not really a must that me come back to this town or to this state and we need the card for your work. And one way I test it out is that when we did leave, when we come back to Jamaica, we did go we did in a Chicago airport and we used the card in a Chicago airport, right? And surprisingly there was no alert. Because me tell the man say the guy said we gonna leave X time, right? So by the way, from them I fill out the paperwork, them know they're not American and we don't say it and them see the visa, all that stuff. But I tell him say me need the card for your work when we go elsewhere. So I just make that clear to them from that point and him say yeah whatever. So that's why I think my bank good for the most part because my card never declined in a Chicago airport and never declined in a Miami airport either when I did for hungry. So you hear me say, so that was it. But pick a bank that has more branches in more states in case I don't return to that state, a bank that has a good reputation. And sure, basically what you need to open a bank account is your passport and social security for the most part. Depending on the bank, they might need other things depending, but for the most part, just your passport and TRN. You don't know what your details, your home address over there, your employer name, the address of your employer, maybe the phone number, all that stuff. Basic things. But anyways, that's how you open a US bank account. And basically, me telling the story, my story, how it go. And I hope you go there and don't be turn fool like me. You just know your whip, ensure you have a passport, ensure you have your social security number, but they need it in order to open the bank account because when you open bank account you know for proof so you get money and you know what I'm saying? You get the social security because the US will not issue a social security unless you can prove to them so you're actually working legally in the country. So once you can prove to the people in the government say yes, you work legally and X, Y, and Z, you will get the social security. Once you get the social security, the bank no have the problem because them sister the US issue that, so you're good. But basically that's the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions, go ahead and comment down below. Or anything else you need to add, go ahead and comment it down below. Bye guys.